she wants your number? That's up to you.
Almost ready.
Go ahead. Okay. Sure.
We can go to start without,
Yes.
Bob?
Oh, well, it's up to you guys.
It's okay, so we can start. I know you wanna start, you wanna be finished.
We got quorum.
All right, let's go ahead and get started. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
All right. So next up, we have police, and this also includes victims advocates, school resource officers, and every year I have to put a new picture of T up. So this is the obligatory Tiande picture. Police is, of course, a growing department. You see that big jump is when we did a mid-year adjustment in our class and compensation study. We needed to increase the salaries for officers. So class and compensation study, sorry, I realized I'm gonna do, we did one after the state had done their big change to all the salaries.
You said class.
It's a class and compensation study, and so what it does, it reviews every single position in the city. It reviews them and compares them to other like agencies and also places we kind of want to aspire to and back and forth. And it creates a chart, a bell curve, of where you want your salaries to kind of place within that. So we wanted to be around what Florence is kind of doing. So, because Florence I see is one of our competitors, even though they're 7 times our size. But what we do is that it evaluates every position and we create new pay bands, and it's all the non-contract employees. So I'm not included in it, but all of this staff employees are then get a new pay band. This is also when, and this is still a side note, this is also when we went to a livable wage for all employees. So this was a big deal. We went from some staff making like 20,000 to now they make about 36,000, and that's our kind of labor employees. And police is one of them that we were able to increase in that then. Since then, we've tried to kind of keep going up, but rising costs. A big deal with this was vehicle maintenance, new vehicles. We're replacing an aging fleet, as you guys have seen, through grants. That's been very successful. But the reality is that this is just a large chunk of this is the most expensive department we have. No offense. They're special to me, though.
One question I get, Chief, I want you to stay for a really long time.
Okay,
I'm
here.
I know he's already retired 3 or 4 times.
He has.
So-
We brought him out of retirement 3 times, for the third time.
I've retired twice. I'm on my third.
Yep.
So are we prepared, again, I'm gonna get into this, are we prepared question over and over again, are we prepared for transition to a new chief? Do we anticipate a higher or lower cost for, that position? Or?
I mean, I think all positions are going to increase over the next few years.
That's just inflation, but I'm saying, are we anticipating a chief being more expensive than what we already have? Or?
We're 15%.
Well, I mean, so
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Chief.
We're 15% below what the standard is here in South Carolina right now.
Yeah.
That includes the chief's position. And all of our officers are between 15 and 20% below what they normally are paid in their positions in other areas of the state.
Even with the raises that we get.
Yeah.
Even with the raises that we are currently giving and us trying to upgrade certain positions during the year as things come up. For instance, I need to upgrade Johnny Winburn's position because Johnny is now about 50% IT for our department. And our department needs a full-time IT person because of all the SLED standards, the unfunded mandates that we are getting in for the cybersecurity training and other things like that. Johnny's doing all of that, so his position as a first sergeant over equipment administration is now really just an IT position in trying to keep up with the changes in training. We did not put in for an extra position this year, but we could definitely use them. I'm not trying to turn them down. I'm just trying to not overinflate our budget at this point either.
Is that kind of what Mark Blair did?
He was more
Part of
admin.
that was what Mark Blair did,
Okay,
yes, ma'am.
okay.
Yes, and he was a lieutenant, Johnny's a sergeant,
Okay.
so,
Now he just flies around over Hartsville.
yeah, now he just flies around and gives us.
Mark Splat.
Right, right.
And I will say, there, I'm sorry, I
police has more opportunities for that, yes.
Well, Daniel, if chief needs IT that bad, the $450,000 we pay for IT every year, why would that not spill over to the police department?
Because it's for the entire city. So the IT does spill into the police department some, but he is doing more SLED compliance issues that are police specific that would not generally translate into a citywide type issue. That's kind of been a recent couple year thing, that we have needed more support directly for SLED. But from the police side, no, we couldn't transfer a portion of it because that's the contract for the entire city. So there's not an amount of money that I can siphon off from that to give to police to do.
No, I'm just talking about the services.
It's for police as well. So services there, it's the entire city. Yeah.
I think too,
Does that answer your question,
a
Bob?
little bit of the IT,
No.
I think
What's-
Chief Byron's
okay.
talking about would include mobile radios, that's correct, right?
It includes all the IT aspects. So
Yeah.
it includes the computers, cameras, body cameras, the cameras around the city that we're doing, and our mobile radio and cell phones.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that position includes all of that, which is why it falls under him, because he originally was just equipment and administration. But because of the extra stuff that SLED has put on police departments over the last 2 to 3 years, he's spending more time doing that and trying to keep being a go-between between our current contract, which is with VC3, and SLED. VC3 has not been in compliance with SLED, so in 2 years in a row now, we have waited till the very last minute on the very last day to become compliant. So we did not lose our National Crime Information Center computer access there at the department because VC3 was not in compliance, even though they said that they were. SLED said that they were not, and that has been a really big headache for the department. We just got it back again a couple of weeks ago, again on the very last day, and we had to spend an awful lot of time working on that. And Johnny and Barbie actually have been doing primarily that for almost 100% of their time for the last few months. So other things can slip through the cracks when we're having to deal with VC3 and SLED.
Okay. What was the question, Bob, again, though? So
When we initially talked about IT earlier, about almost
$450,000,
$450,000.
yep.
And then if the chief needs IT, I just didn't know if that was under the umbrella of what we had discussed earlier.
Understood.
And why would he need, it sounds like he really needs it, but yet we pay him $450,000 for it, and I was just wondering, why would it not cover the police department? Like if you were our IT person, said, listen, we need you at the police department,
Right, sure.
and help take some of the load off of Johnny or whoever, because I just didn't know if that was under the same contract.
So-
I will say Amber works very closely with Johnny.
That's
They
what I
tag
was
team
gonna say.
some.
So
They
the
work very
contract,
closely.
the contract itself is citywide, which does include police. What we're seeing, though, is that, sorry, what?
Some parts of police, but not all the IT needs a
And
head.
the chief explained it too about SLED requirements.
Yeah,
or
so
whatever.
that's been,
That cleared the water for us.
yeah, so that's what we're focusing on. But we do have another staff person who is the IT person across the city. We're just getting into more specialized. So we have taken a police officer who was more admin, and now they are doing more stuff like that. I believe when we switch to a new group, a lot of these woes will be handled. And I think it will be more specific, because the group that I was specifically looking at is more focused on that to help out with that. But we have to get through this contract, so
We basically have 2 contracts with VC3, one for
Sharon,
the
didn't
city
we try
and
that
one for the
years ago?
police.
no, it's one contract. It's one contract citywide. Police is part of the city. And so the contract, but we have different people working on different aspects of it. But
And that's because it's law enforcement personnel that needs to operate.
That's
yes,
absolutely right.
exactly. Yep.
Got that man, Bob, that's what it was. Because that specifically needs to be handled by law enforcement.
I asked a question about the jail cell computer compliance issues. Is that I don't see it reflected in the budget. I don't know where I would look for that.
No, so I mean, the computer itself, we just have to be down there and then have
Right.
staff down there. So right now, we have staff who are going down to the jail. So that's been solved in that sense. It's still not the best solution, and we're still trying to figure out what makes sense for the judges. But no, I mean, it's not a specific issue that's gonna be called out of the budget, though, for one computer. We're just handling it through, how we,
Personnel.
it's a logistic issue, that's all it is.
Yes, because of, and Brandon, maybe you can speak to that, when we switched to the most current system, they had a software change, that's what's requiring us with our computer to be there to make sure that we are in compliance. Is that correct, Brandon?
I think we got onto the jail's
Somewhat.
Wi-Fi.
There's still a lot of issues with the new system, but there's somewhat, we still have some issues at the jail with the computer. The biggest issue at the jail with the computer is that the jail's internet
Yeah, getting on their
cannot
internet.
support the different security stuff that
That's
state
right.
requires us to have on our computer at the jail. They do not have the bandwidth, they were never set up for that in that particular office. We don't have the ability to go outside of that office and connect to something else. And because it's a jail and reinforced with steel and everything else, there's no Wi-Fi system that can get into that, that we can hook up to that has the bandwidth for us to operate that computer there. That is our biggest problem because they can't operate the SLED security requirements on it, so therefore we can't use it.
How are we addressing that problem?
That is what we are doing. We are sending people down there now instead of using the computer itself to get out back to here where the judges were. They are now dealing with that there, and they will bring back whatever paperwork or data needs to come back and switch it back.
So that's absorbing a lot of your police officers' hours.
It does, yes, it does.
So is there a way to fix that so we can have more efficient use of our police officers?
Not without paying the jail a lot of money to upgrade their Wi-Fi system.
Is that something we could talk to the county about maybe?
Yeah, we could talk to the county about it. That's where it would need to come from.
It's kind of like a network issue.
It's completely a networking and a SLED compliance issue. Not something we can absorb in our budget.
If we use our police officers less to go ferrying back and forth, then we can straighten it off.
They gotta be a
Put 'em on the road
county-wide
more.
thing.
It's not just,
Well, they still would have to go.
police officers still have to
They
go
still
down
have
to
to
do
go.
for court, right?
Well, not necessarily. If we could get that fixed, then we wouldn't necessarily have to be there for every bond court.
Would Brandon's person still have to be there though?
Not if we could get that fixed.
But that's requiring the jail to upgrade.
That would require the jail to do
That's
that.
a
Another-
conversation that we can have with the county possibly.
It's a conversation with the county, yes.
Oh,
What about security cameras down, all over town? We're looking at a new contract. Is that in this? is
No,
this,
that's,
budget?
no, not in this budget. It was ARPA funded.
So
and
that's grants.
It's grants funded, yeah.
Right.
It will be in 3 years, when that rolls off, the grant money rolls off, yeah.
That just for maintenance of it, the
Mhm.
contract, the service contract.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right. Just like you about to say something.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so Chief, is that where you would be able to have, say, a victim and
Oh, yeah, that's
a perpetrator do it over, like, via computer?
So we can do the Zoom bond hearings now. It's not as easy as what it should be because of the network issue.
Okay.
But we still do that, and we can do that. But the easiest thing right now is for our officer, the clerk of court, and the judge to all be in the same position or be in the same location at the same time in order to make this work. And that's what we're trying to do now with both sides of bond court.
Cause I've seen, city police officers down at the courthouse.
They're there a lot, yes, ma'am. They're supposed to be there twice a day.
Right.
Bryce asked a good question. I assume the county is doing their budgets right now as well.
Yes,
So we need, I don't know if it's too late to.
it's too late for that for this year, yeah.
One thing, the mayor mentioned about, question you asked about, what were you doing prepared for the future?
Sure.
But the main thing you would need in the government is a succession plan.
Mhm.
You definitely gotta have a succession plan. And my walk through City Hall, I think, city manager is doing a pretty good job with a succession plan. Like if somebody is retiring, they put something in place that, they leave, that this person is knowledgeable. I mean, I think that's citywide. So same thing, police department. Chief realized the job, I don't know a lot of people personally, but the person doing IT stuff, you train more and more people. Same thing with the fire department. You guys doing a good job. So I really believe in the succession plan.
When we
Because I've
stress
seen
that
more people
across the
drop out,
area.
nobody knows. One point, what do you say? These points of weakness could be all over the place. One subject matter expert leave and nobody knows what the hell is going on.
Sure.
So continue to do your session plan, be competitive in your salary, because that's why you're gonna get qualified people.
That's the main way.
So that's my
And
spin on this.
also, those people have to have, it can't happen that way all the time because nobody else has the talent to do that. Nobody else has the skills to do it. So that's why we go outside.
No, you can do it inside.
It
They
depends.
do it all the time.
It just depends on what you have.
Yeah, they do it all the
We
time.
stress succession planning across the area. All of my department heads are fully aware, and we're not threatened by another person wanting to be in our job.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If you want it, you can have it.
Clean up your replacement.
So that's always what we're trying to do. But I mean, for the most part, we recognize that succession planning it can be a difficult conversation. You're not trying to say, we want you to leave. That's something that definitely is problematic a lot of times. And so we always try and stress, make sure that people have things in place. If department heads left, those are the subject matter experts. We try hard to keep them as best we can, because that's the best idea, but we are always playing forward. But right now, for instance, I have Terry upstairs we can't get rid of her, and I don't want to. She retired on May 1st, or April, and she's still here. So we're very excited about that. She does love what she does, and that's what most of our staff does. So.
How are our SROs paid?
So our SROs are paid through a contract with the school district. It is based on an older contract that we have been trying to get to be modernized and to pay for what they actually are doing. Right now, we lose money on the SROs having to cover the costs that they don't pay. At one point, it was like 75% of their salary was covered through the school district because they believed at that time that the officers could then be used in the summertime for police when we have kind of a ramp-up time period. That doesn't happen anymore. SRO officers work almost 100% for the school district because if there's kids in school, there's going to be an officer there to protect them. We have tried, and they did have a transition to superintendent. We're still trying to negotiate increased pay for our SROs because if we don't, and equipment, right now we cover 100% of the equipment costs. And when you're talking about an officer's, pay, you have to also consider the fact that they need 6 figures worth of equipment to go alongside that. And that includes a car for a lot of times. So SRO contract has been a bit of a challenge to get updated with the school district and what their needs and their payments they have to do. But for the most part, we need to come up with a better solution.
How can we help with that? What levers you need pulled?
The school district, your counterparts on the school district, the commissioners.
Well, the other cities in the county share that same sentiment you just mentioned.
We do.
I can't understand why we just don't, Darlington, Lamar, Hartsville, just doesn't get together and go see Matthew and say, listen, we need your help.
We do, and we talk to them quite often. I will say, though, that it is difficult when you have electeds in different positions that change, sheriff being one of them, and they have their needs that they're going to push for. And I will say, the school district is talking to 3 different entities who all have 3 different needs, and we have different pay scales, so it's not as easy as it seems. I think that there is opportunity for us to go to where I've discussed that with my counterparts at the county Charles administrator and to be cohesive on this, but it doesn't always happen. Common sense isn't so common sometimes.
I know.
But the reality is that they are constrained, the school district is constrained, and there is a new superintendent who has different views about SROs than the previous one. And that has been a challenge. There's challenges there.
Do you mind?
Go ahead, Chief.
He's actually checked into trying to put private security into the schools. I don't think that would work out very well for him. And I don't think that the parents would like it very much, but he's checked into trying to save money by putting, private security into the schools. But, we lose probably $250,000 a year putting SROs into our schools. Every time I put one into a school, we lose money.
You're not putting junior officers there either.
I'm
Your
not.
best officers in there.
I'm not. Well, I'm not gonna say I put my best officers there, but I put more experienced officers than brand new rookies down there, because the brand new rookies don't know how to work the street, much less do they know how to work a school, which is much more intricate than working the street. So I do put higher paid officers in our schools than, say, the county and Darlington City.
They're not gonna panic in a stressful situation. They know how to handle people.
Correct, and if they don't, believe me, the school district that I worked with when I was chief at Casey, was much more, complicated than this one. And I can tell you that when things happen in schools, it really can cause some big backlashes. So I don't want to put my brand new officers in there, and that's quite frankly what the school district wants me to do. I have simply asked for them to pay a straight one-to-one salary, instead of trying to do a blanket payment per hour across the board. That does us no good. When you start talking about salaries and benefits, we're losing money every time we go in there. Plus, I've got one SRO that's on a grant. We don't really lose much money on him, although we do lose a little bit. But it's the vehicles, the vehicle maintenance, the vehicle fuel. It's the bulletproof vest that we have to buy for them, and replace them every 3 to 5 years. It's the uniforms, it's the training, and it's the vacation time and sick time. When you look at it, each of those SROs have to take at least a week of vacation time. I encourage that because they need the time off too. They can't do it during the school year. They also have summer school at almost every school in the city during the summer. So they're having to work that. We also have at least 2 weeks of training that they have to go to on top of the 40 hours that they have to do for the academy. And we do not get paid for them to do their vacation time, their sick time, or their training time. We do not get paid for that by the school system. And I wind up, when we do that, trying to offset it, so that we're not having several officers that are having to go into schools at the same time. But I offset it one thing by putting a lieutenant in there who makes more money than these SROs do, and we lose even more money when I put him in there trying to fill these gaps. So our SRO program, the city pays an awful lot of money to have these SROs in there, and the school district doesn't pay near as much.
So we need to have some hard conversations
We do.
with that.
And I mean, that's where, and we have had those up to this point, but we need some help from the school board. They need to understand what it is that those at risk here.
Give me up to speed on some serious numbers on that, and I'll
Sure.
start working on the board members.
Sounds good.
Can I say
Please.
one thing about
You bet.
Brandon
Yeah,
as
of
well?
course.
So I don't know if this is even possible, but you could also talk to your legislators, because the South Carolina Department of Public Safety does offer a grant for SROs if the school does not already have one. However, if we already have one in a school that's been implemented for years and years and years, they're not gonna then fund that SRO. But since Butler Academy, for example, did not have one, that SRO position is fully funded, well, other than overtime, bonuses that we may give, is nearly fully funded by the grant. So if they would tweak that grant, the South Carolina Department of Public Safety, if they would somehow allow,
We could fire all the SROs for a day and then hire them back brand
They,
new.
they actually said for about a year.
They would not allow that.
Every year.
They said they looked into it. I think it's like a year, but then there'd be a year of kids not being
Right,
protected.
we're not doing that.
What's the language on that we would ask them to tweak?
That's a good question. I'm not exactly sure what to say, other than ask if, for example, if we could prove that we're not able to fund these positions, could we have
if the legislature would allow or would mandate the school district to pay what a grant would pay for a new SRO, then we would be in much better shape. For instance, now, the school district wants us to hire another person for the high school. They've been wanting 2 officers in there for several years. But we lose so much money by doing that, there's just no way that financially that the city can afford to do that, in my opinion. So we have not really researched doing that. But and the legislature will mandate what they pay teachers and what they do for benefits for teachers. They could easily do that for SROs as well, since the governor said that there will be an armed SRO in every school, or an armed security
Requires
team
each
in
to pay
every
for
school.
it.
And could it also say, not just for, a new officer,
An
but like
existing
she
position.
said, for a seasoned officer who would be able to handle the breakout that would happen versus a rookie?
And I will say, this grant does
It is
fund,
nice.
it does fund, a more seasoned officer in that position. So we do have a very seasoned officer in that position, and they're funding that. It does have to be approved, I guess, if the state does not have as much money to fund that salary.
Yeah.
Then we would have to, they would fund maybe an X portion, and we could then fund that smaller portion.
But that's what I was saying,
Right.
if we could show the legislation the reason why the, extra funds are needed, because we're giving it to a seasoned officer for his ability to be able to handle a situation if it arises.
Understood.
Well, it's election year for some of them, so maybe now be the time to,
Done that, right?
knock on that door.
Nobody's gonna say no to that.
Yeah,
right?
put the two
Them.
things together.
Yeah.
That would be great. I mean, I understand that they're limited in their funding as well, but maybe they could help a little bit.
Well,
Maybe they
yeah,
could give us a little push.
like I said, if we did both things, if we
No,
give
but I'm just talking about elected.
two birds with one stone. You need a new SRO officer for a school that doesn't have one, and then for one that,
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
they're coming up with, we use a more seasoned officer who has the training that's needed to be able to handle that situation. A rookie just coming out wouldn't be able to handle that.
I like the way they do that.
Yeah, you could combine the two. If we're gonna ask the question, ask both the questions at the same, put both of them in the same level.
Half of our taxes.
So the most recent conversation with the superintendent is that they are having to do an increase for their teachers, and they did not want to consider another increase for the officers when they're having trouble paying for the teachers. I think it's the SRO that we put into our schools is one of the most important cops that we can have in those schools.
Absolutely.
It is a opportunity not only to protect those kids, but also to showcase that police are your friends. What they mean to those students is so much more. So to take any approach of putting anyone who is not experienced, who is not an officer, is a shrewd way to look at the protection of our children. And as a parent of young children in schools, absolutely not am I going to stand for that. So I think that it needs to have a hard conversation. There needs to be some convincing to the school board. You need to do this to protect these kids. And so I don't understand why it's even a choice. But we need to echo your comment earlier, though, we need to be on the same page with the county and the other cities. We cannot do this alone.
We come as a block. We can
Yep.
maybe do
Because I've had sheriffs in the past who said, I'll just take all the SROs over because
Yep.
that makes sense for the sheriff, but not necessarily the county budget, you know? So it's a more in-depth conversation, but yes, we need to figure something out.
And before we print the final version of this, I was talking about that, because of the rising cost of that, that's why we've created Department 424. Right now, it's combined, like, we have all three together. Before we print this final one, what we're gonna do is we're gonna separate it out completely, so you can see, like, make it easier for y'all to add up the total cost. of
Department 424 is maintenance contracts.
That's good that you said that, because the last three digits
Right.
in 424 is maintenance contracts, but the Department 424 is SROs.
We've created an SRO department so that we can track their costs specifically for these
Within the
discussions
Department
with
of
them.
Police.
So we
division.
have 421, which is police. We have 423, which is victims advocate. And now we have 424, which is school resource officer. So before we print this final, we're gonna separate out a better way for y'all to look at that and add up that total.
Okay.
Right now, we have it all kind of blended together, but I'm gonna separate that out for
So
y'all.
excuse me, 421 is what?
421 is police.
Please.
Another part of police, but it has to be tracked separately, is 423, which is our victims advocate. And then you have 424, which is school resource officer. On this next version, we're gonna separate it out to make it easier for y'all to see the totals there. So that you, because you said hard numbers, you'll have that if we separate that out for you. You won't have to go through and add up all the 424 departments. Anything 424 is SROs.
On page 60, I'm not understanding what's going on here, because it looks like we got the same line items multiple times.
That's what.
So
yep,
look,
there
so
you
look
go.
at
Oh,
the,
that's because of
the
420.
That's
Oh,
their
okay.
there you-
piece.
Thank you, all right.
it's the GL code.
Thank
Yep.
you, all right, thank you.
Yep, that's right.
Done.
That's what's, I'm gonna change that one.
Okay.
Any other questions about,
You said GL code, ain't no Pete and acronym don't go together.
it's a general ledger?
General ledger.
General ledger. And we do,
Glad Pete's here, so he can pick on him.
we do a 4-digit one, but God, what is it? Doesn't Florence do like a 16?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're
Florence has a
lucky.
16-digit long general ledger
Yeah.
code. It's amazing. That's Kevin Yoakum. What are you gonna do?
That's a lot.
He's a CPA.
He was a CPA.
He is a
correct.
CPA, so, okay. And he's so proud of it. He talks about his long code. Okay. Anything else on police?
I will say one thing about the police. This morning at the Blue Breakfast in Darlington with Sheriff August, he was very complimentary of HPD in front of everybody there. So
Glad
just
you're
wanted to
there.
make sure everybody knew that HPD got their due in front of the whole county and officials this
Well, that's
morning.
Was
Good
that the
deal.
one at the at the Green Post Office?
It was.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, next is the fire department,
Page 69.
69. Any questions about fire?
What's our call volume like?
Hi. Chief,
About
Of it.
1,500
1,500 a
a year.
year.
Is that trending up or down?
Yes,
Same?
so it will continue to trend up, based on the number, based on the type of calls we're running.
What is fire versus regs? So what's?
Yeah, so
most of them are regs.
medical is about 50%
think it is.
of what, 50 or 60% of what we're doing.
So like cardiac arrest in somebody's house? Type thing? Okay. So because we don't have an ambulance service, EMT, you're doing that service?
We're assisting with it.
Okay.
I won't say we're doing it. We're providing a service to the citizens, at a quicker rate.
Y'all can get there a lot quicker. That's a big deal.
Daniel, is that company still helping the fire department collect some of those funds from the insurance?
They are. We have been, Chief and I have been talking about it. They're very aggressive to the point where I kind of, I don't want them, I want to make sure they're representing the city well, but we do use a service to do that, yes.
From the insurance companies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't want them to literally be an ambulance chaser type situation where they're contacting people directly and kind of scaring them. So we're tweaking that with what they do, but no, we do use a service to help with that because I mean it is a cost, so we're trying to recoup as much as we can. I just want to do so in a way that represents the city well. That's all. I don't need a collection agency calling people. You know what I mean?
You know, in a different light, what them, when they report to a car accident, is like Chief Snellgrove reporting to the school.
Mhm.
Because for a while there, he was sending us a text a week where he was having to send more and more officers to the school for a problem. of
Oh
some
yeah,
sort.
absolutely. Yeah.
So, see, Snellgrove doesn't have that luxury of saying, okay, well, we
Bill you
four
extra,
people
yeah.
for 2 hours and bill you. We don't have that.
That's a fair point. Yeah, I mean,
That is true.
exactly. Yeah, and I mean, and a lot of it has changed. I do think the school has made quite a bit of improvements. Not to keep talking about the school, but for instance, the middle school has really improved with the new principal, which has been really helpful for us because that was one that had the most calls, I believe, at one point. But then it's just the seasons of life. Now the high school is, and maybe those same kids have. Yeah, I'm starting to track it now.
They do continue to graduate, to the next grade.
I don't know. I never did, so it's fair. But yeah, fire is a little different, so we can recoup some of that stuff. But we do, yes, sir.
So, I keep asking the question, are we preparing
towards that would be your millage increase. I mean, that would be it. When you're talking about a direct public service, that's probably your easiest sell if you're going to do millage increase, is going to be for additional firemen. Um,
The firefighter
and it was
probably
tough. I
is,
tried to see if they could take, it was like one, but they really would need one each.
it's about
shift.
$100,000 per firefighter to add with all the equipment after the plus, yeah, so.
Yeah.
Each firefighter is 100,000, and, yes, we are meeting with everyone there. We're meeting the state guidelines, but that's the reality, is that a lot of times things happen. People are sick.
And that's with volunteers that we have in there too. That's-
No, it's
No,
no.
I mean, we
I'm
meet
saying
that
we-
one
We have
out.
volunteers that are helping too, but we
We don't
desperately-
rely on the volunteers like the
Of course
county
not.
does.
No,
Yeah.
we
We
don't.
have a
We have
great system.
full-time staff who handle it. But to answer your, I mean, we are, every year, we are preparing for what's to come. As I've explained when we talk about the revenues, this is me preparing you for what is gonna have to happen coming up. I haven't been shying away the fact that we are starting to see revenue slow. We're going to have to do something to change it. And we're not seeing the same level of commercial growth that, we're a 7,400 town. I mean, that's the reality. So yes, we are preparing as much, but, we're doing what we can. So I guess the question is council prepared, is the question, because that's what's to come.
So I want to ask this question. Is this a place where, we send fire along with the emergencies? Could we ask the county to help with that?
This,
cost?
So-
this comes up.
Yeah,
Would
so
that
this
not
is-
increase?
So this is the conversation. So, as for a little bit of history, we were in a situation where at any time, the county could have stopped or halted the contract, because the contract did expire.
Right,
It expired for almost 10 years.
yes,
And it was in a really precarious situation for the city, because that was 50% of our revenues for the fire department was from the fire district contract. When we negotiated the new one, we were successful in negotiating a one-time payment for a fire truck. It was 600,000 or 650, something along those lines. But then they increased the mill for debt, but they are seeing the increases of that on their side. So they probably have received more over if we had just split it. That's a talking point with them. There is a conversation how they would like to talk about doing another contract, but they'd like to talk about some cost sharing. I don't agree with that at all. We are completely different fire departments, and we do different things.
Right.
They are a rural fire department. We are an urban fire department. And what I would suggest as we're going forward, I would have Chief getting some of the data. I believe we take a year to do a study, and we look at how many times each one is showing up for how long, and we document everything. And so when it comes push to shove, we can show, when did the county come on scene? When did we come on scene?
right.
And so, because it's going to take data to prove this, of
Right.
course. But the reality is that we service the lion's share of the people in this area, in the county residents,
Yes.
more often and more, I won't say successfully,
Efficiently.
more sufficiently is what I would go with, than the county can do because of
Yes.
their structure. It's
Right.
just a different department. They have full-time firefighters per station. That is not enough to handle the load of an urban environment.
And when
Without a
I
question.
asked the chief about this, when we talked about this, I believe sometimes too, the personnel that they send don't actually operate in the way that would be as helpful, right? Sometimes it's just someone with the water truck, I believe is how you worded that.
Right, so there's a
You
difference
don't.
between what we're providing. The county service is designed to provide water. Like, they'll have a handful of firefighters and a lot of water on scene. Our system, we've designed to put a lot of hands on the fire immediately. So that, because we're there in less than 7 minutes, 95% of the time. We can stop a fire where it's at when we get there with the number of people we show up with. In a county situation, it's a little bit different. You're showing up later, 15, sometimes 20 minutes later, just because of distance to travel. So they show up with more water, and that's how they're rated. Their ISO rating is on water, and ours is not. Ours is on hydrant system. So there's a big difference. They may show up with just a driver who all his job is, or all that person's job is to drive that fire truck there and pump it. Like that's his only job. He's not going to go inside of a burning building. He's not going to touch a fire hose unless it's to fill up another truck. That's it. And that's okay, because those people are needed. It just does not work in our system.
But if we're able to show
They've done increases, yeah. They did,
But it's
they did,
small, not-
they did, we have the same operating millage, correct, chief? But they've done different,
As far as I understand.
they have done different, they did a different, they did 2 mills for us, or 2.5. 2.5, and then they did a larger increase though for themselves, across the area, the rest of the county, to pay for their equipment. It is not an equal level of service. The fire contract is
We're
a,
negotiating fire contract now, or beginning that.
we're
right?
starting to, but that's where I think, that's why I'm suggesting we need to do a study. Because if they're requesting any additional funding from us, or from that's potentially ours, I want to prove to them, I want them to prove that they deserve it. Because if we're servicing the area, our 5-mile radius is our fire district, that's what we serve. They are not operating to the same level that we are. It is not the same department. And so it is not I'm not saying they're any less than us, but it's just a different department. So it is not equal. It is not going to be, them showing up to a fire is different from us showing up to a fire. So I want to have the data to prove what we need to do, but we do need to continue. I'd rather continue the contract as is than consider negotiating an increase for them. So that's right. We need to do what's best for Hartsville, and it expires next year, next May. So the
Due now, we have to negotiate now.
we have a year. Yeah. So reality is this: is that we provide our service to our residents. We also provide services to the county residents. The county residents are not aware that if we were to stop that service, what would happen to those county buildings. And Sunoco is not in is in the fire district. It's not in the city limits. Businesses are not in the city limits. They will burn before we get there, before they get there. That is the reality. And I'm not going to do an automatic aid when it's not advantageous for us. So if they want to play with fire, we can play with fire. Okay?
Yeah, and there's so many homes in that 5-mile district as well. And you talk about off of Lakeview, that's outside of city limits.
Yeah,
So-
that's what I'm talking about, justifying, and wherever they get their costs from, because we need more and we provide more. So I don't wanna get to the place where, we would say, okay, if you don't do something, if you don't make some increases and give it to Hartsville, then you gonna have a catastrophe.
And I don't mind, if we had to let this contract go and they wanted to renegotiate another contract at a later date, I'd be happy to engage one that's more advantageous for us. Because right now, they are getting a deal from us.
Yeah.
How, we talked about this, Ricky, what's the percentage of the calls that's in that 5-mile district?
It's almost exactly 50/50.
Right. It's a lot.
Yeah, but the cost share is not 50/50.
No.
It is not.
And so that's what, when we renegotiate
No.
this contract, the public has to know some kind of way,
Yes, ma'am.
because if they don't, they don't wanna annex into the city.
No.
Number one.
That's right.
Okay, so by not wanting to annex into the city, then this is the price you're going to have to pay to continue to keep having Hartsville show up and save whatever it is that you have.
Right. Well, that's how the fire district started.
Yeah,
I mean, if you think about it, so the county had the fire district.
right.
And then certain entities were not happy with how the county was doing it. So the city created, had an agreement with Duke, had an agreement with Sunoco. Then yada, 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 a couple lawsuits later, we have a consolidated fire district, not consolidated, but a 5-mile district. And that's when it lapsed. We lost the ability to service those areas without a contract. Counties have the ultimate authority, the responsibility and the right to service the areas unless there's a contract in place. We need to just do what's best for Hartsville here. That's the reality. So, but yes, we need to start the negotiations now.
Yeah, that's, like I said, the general public does not know that.
No, they don't. And I think the county isn't aware of how much backlash that would be if they change it.
Yeah,
So,
so,
okay. Any other question about fire? Okay. Moving on. All right, this is Marketing Communications Department,
Page 75.
page 75. All righty. Any questions about this? Anybody?
We already kind of hit it with the ministry, I think.
Okay. All right, next. This is operation maintenance. This is in the Public Services Department. This is our general kind of facility maintenance person. As you know, we had a wonderful person in that position. He sadly passed away from cancer. So we did recently refill that with another, I think, good hire from within. But this person has this and then an assistant, and they handle all the general maintenance for the city facilities, just like these buildings and things like that. His name is Kevin. He's just got hired in.
He came over from utilities.
He was in utilities. He was being trained to be the new meter reader, the succession plan for meter reading, because Randy, who I think holds the record being my favorite employee. That's what everyone said. The longest favorite employee ever. But Randy is getting ready to retire, but we're going to be training another meter reader. But Kevin's a good hire. And there is a janitor, janitorial service employee in here too.
That's right.
Any questions? All right. Next, Parks and Recreation.
Page 82.
And the big jump here, of course, is the new person. We also have 2 part-time people who are added into this budget. They're about $25,000 each. We've needed more night staffing to help with the kids coming in, and of course all the fun activities we're doing. Any questions about Parks and Rec?
Yeah, where does it fall? Kind of, I can see where it falls in Parks and Rec, obviously, and maybe in marketing also on creating tournaments.
Mhm.
How do,
So that would be, if we do that, that would be hospitality. The biggest discussion, we talked about this, I feel like some of that strategic vision meeting is trying to get the directors to want to come here when we're talking about baseball and softball. Greg Lewis, John Hayes, those are your 2 big ones to talk to for the area. This event will be very successful, this right here, and as you can tell, this one right here though is for Dixie Youth, so this is a jamboree. This one is for all our Dixie Youth teams getting prepared to go to district. And one cool thing is for the Pony League, which is 13 and 14-year-olds, the end of June, we will be hosting that state championship for Dixie Youth, which is awesome. We just got that. So that was something Kendrick did, and Kendrick did amazing with this. This has been sent out to all the, not Dixie Youth, it's Diamond Youth Baseball now. This has been sent out to all the directors across the state, including the state director, to send this out. This is a really fun event.
as a statewide tournament?
This one will be. This one here, and this is a cool one because your teams don't have to pay to be in it. Which when you play Perfect Game, Top Gun, or U-Trip, you're going to have to pay to be in it. So, for instance, the other week, I would think everyone wants to go to Florence. I mean, that one did not make.
Randy.
They're going for, they're going to go to places like Lexington because most of those travel teams live there. They don't have to pay for a hotel or do that. So that is where we're struggling with that. Now, one thing I talked with Kendrick about, it started off really, I'm seeing it on the Tennessee page being shared the most, but I would love to try to get John Hayes or Greg Lewis to help us out and do a Friday night, Saturday, which is what this format is. I'm starting to see that happen because families want to be able to go to church and have Sunday off. We would love that. So that's going to be my big push. I actually know someone pretty well that works underneath John Hayes, and they go for Perfect Game for the Florence area, which you probably know him from being Hutch. So I'm going to work with Hutch. He works with John Hayes now, and I'm going to get him to try to push these tournaments out. The other issue.
Well, I would say the largest thing, the largest share of this money in here is to support the Hartsville residents
Yes.
for recreation.
That's why I was asking the question.
Yeah.
Where,
So
where-
any
It would be
any
hospitality.
tournaments is going to come from hospitality, but
That's
this budget is centered around Hartsville youth, and we also do now because we separate from the county. We will take county residents, but that's what this focuses on this department. But any tournament stuff is going to come out hospitality.
And he would absolutely help coordinate coordinating maintenance, concessions, all of those things. But he is limited, other than getting the schedule for them on when they wanna come and asking them to come.
So it's more, Parks and Rec's more of a day of for the tournament, and hospitality's more, pitching it, advertising it, and.
We wouldn't though. I mean, I can try to get them to come, absolutely. But that's what I'm saying, the directors, here's the problem, like I mentioned before, John Hayes is for Florence, Myrtle Beach, and Charleston, and us. So we fall to the bottom of the totem pole every single time. If a team has a choice to go to Hartsville or the beach, unfortunately, they're choosing the beach. And so he does not advertise us. When he takes my husband to play in a tournament, he is not trying to get us to come here. He's like, hey, I'll cut you a discounted rate to come here. Now, when I talk about what we could do to help from hospitality standpoint, if I waive the field fees or something like that, or paying for our maintenance and my concessions, all of those things, I can pay that out of hospitality dollars. But outside that, and absolutely give them the water park passes, I'll be glad to do that as well. But the directors have to have the appetite for it, and we're gonna be limited with 8 fields. When we go and play Myrtle Beach, I'm playing at 6 different complexes. And they're all managed by that county, by the same staff. We don't have that here because I don't manage MACD or the high schools or any of those. So,
Different level of coordination.
that's right, and so when I go to Columbia, I'm across 3 different fields on the weekend. All the complexes
It's a nice complex.
are under the same umbrella of the county or something like that. So we're gonna be tied down a little bit with the 8 fields with what we can provide. They're not gonna go play at Northern as much as I love it, we can't, it won't work. So we're gonna be limited with this. But we will absolutely keep trying. If I can get Friday, Saturday, that would be awesome. And, I actually had someone private messages on our social media page asking for that the other day, and I said, actually, we have a jamboree coming up, and we would love to do it. We will work hard on it. Going back to what Daniel said though, for Kendrick and them, their main focus is on our local youth.
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
That is not, I mean, he'll provide the maintenance side of it, but, his focus is on the programming.
Is there an opportunity, and this is just thinking out loud, but some form of a hardship program?
That,
I'm just curious if there was a way that every kid just
we
signed
do
up.
have some citizens, like I said, not working on that, we're getting the numbers to them. Nothing official yet, but we have had a group of people reach out to try to fund something like that.
Great.
So absolutely. If we were going to do scholarship based, I had mentioned the way I would do that would be, is the same way Adventure operated, where if you provided proof that you had EBT, you got free or something like, to provide it. Because some families I know, some people like, we'll pay for other people maybe that couldn't afford it, but that way, someone say, oh no, like let me pay in my part, or, but that way we could try to identify or have a program scholarship set up for people that would need that. So if you want to go to Adventure and you did have EBT or something like that, SNAP program, you actually have to go for free. So if we did it scholarship based, I think that would be a good way to try to manage that. But we have got that question before, and we also had, a business that wanted, a foundation that wanted to do something, and we're talking with them about as well, to try to fund that. We would love it, absolutely would love that.
I think every kid in the city should be afforded.
Yes, and I think, I know
Kids are
Kendrick
busy,
walked
right?
back in, Kendrick would completely agree.
It's a lot cheaper to put kids in sports than it is to lock them up. So let's keep them busy, keep them out of trouble. I love that.
Have we looked at, what kind of partnership do we have with the YMCA? Do we have one?
We need to talk probably offline
Okay.
about that.
All right.
Where are we capacity wise on the, TB Thomas?
For what?
Principally basketball, but everything. I'm hearing that we don't have enough room or, it's hard to even practice basketball there because there's so much activity. It's a good problem to have, but.
I can kick out pickleball if you want.
Yeah, well,
They're not there during the practice time, it's
Just-
at night.
Well, just in general.
So,
if you want.
right.
I'm just kidding.
They've
Kendrick-
been very good, and they
Kendrick
actually
could-
sponsored a team.
I
and
know,
so
I'm just
we're
teasing.
doing well with pickleball.
I love Patty and Carol, don't worry.
Yes.
Kendrick, would you kind of speak
Kendrick,
to that?
you should ask, tell them how many places you reached out to try to use their
So
basketball court.
basketball, the problem we have, we're turning down kids. So we had 17 teams this year. That's 160 kids, 12 kids per team. That's from 5-year-old all the way up to 12. So we reached out to every gym in Hartsville, churches, YMCA, Butler, Heritage, and every
be done by the time, because we don't have our practices until the evening. I feel like most school sports, I felt like had their practices right after school while they're still there. I would love for them to have that discussion with us again. I guess, did you talk with Brad about that? Is that who you spoke with, the director there?
Brad, what is it?
It was just gym space. They're running out of gym space themselves. Like they have wrestling, they have basketball practice, cheerleading, but also track get canceled there in the gym. Same thing with soccer, that get canceled there in the gym. So they're working with a lot themselves. But you know, our frustration is, you know, everyone come to us to use our gym and our facility, but when we ask for a favor, you know, it's a little different.
What's the price for Butler?
I'm just joking with him.
No, he went to
But,
Butler.
hey,
I think
don't
they said
spend
they were
any
using
money,
it.
though.
What did Butler? What, I can't remember. What was Butler?
So they have different. They have the Boys and Girls Club, but also the LOL STEAM School.
Yeah.
They're using the gym for their basketball program as well.
And I think a couple of church groups
Mhm.
use it.
We did try
So
to.
it's all about just getting on their schedule a little earlier than
Biggest bottleneck is basketball. Am I hearing that?
for sure for gym space.
What about soccer?
So soccer, we don't run soccer. Hostel runs soccer. I haven't heard anything about their space. It's just the lighting for soccer. They don't have lights out there. So that's the biggest thing. And sometimes they use our baseball complex, but during the fall, you have different organizations come out there and playing baseball and softball. So the biggest thing with soccer is the lighting.
And we don't have any plans for adding lighting. on the
No,
soccer
but if
fields.
they would like to give that over to us, that could be something. He's offered that to them for us to take on soccer. We would love to have
You're
that.
not gonna add
program.
lights unless we run.
Well, I would think that
program.
would be the investment for us, not for that
I
organization.
kinda like having another organization run it, cause they're doing it for free. And we provide lights, that would be
What
kinda
do you mean
nice.
we do it for free?
They're doing it for free. The volunteers are running it.
Yeah, but for that, it would be into SCAP, which is something they want. They can't do it right now. Hustle wants that SCAP, which is All Stars, so they can't do it unless they come over to us, which is something they want. We do have a great working relationship with them.
Yeah.
They do pay minimal for that space, that we give them quite the discount for that land, that space they're using.
Right.
That would be quite the investment in that. It is something we could look into. We have volunteers though that run all of our sports. All of our
Yeah,
coaches are
we
volunteers as well.
Totally depend on
And we would get
volunteers.
the registration fee, which would be a nice offset for the lights.
Excuse me, Pete,
Yes, ma'am.
what is the fee for, using, like, the gym for practice?
You don't use the gym for practice.
No, I'm saying if we were to work on something, is there?
Try to work out an
fee
agreement
schedule?
with Butler.
Oh, you gotta talk to Chi. I don't deal with money.
I like that answer. I want that to be mine.
I don't deal with money.
Politician, man, the politician.
I don't deal with money.
We could
No,
look
but
into it.
I'm just a custodian down there. I'm just being honest.
You're not
You
a
know,
board, you're not a board
sit up.
member.
I'm a board member. I'm
That's his
just-
job.
That's what I do. I don't deal with the money.
So who we need to speak?
I'm serious.
Sheila
Sheila.
Squire. Yeah, we'll talk to her.
I got my limitations.
Okay.
I like
Cause
that.
I know my personality.
Yeah.
Good.
And,
All right?
and that's.
And I know my personality,
Yeah.
so I don't deal with the money.
Your own
If
self.
you gotta come to me, come right.
That's a
All right, so. That's the story.
Personality.
I know my personality.
Let's have that conversation if there's a
Yeah.
schedule.
I'd love to partner more,
That'd be
sure.
a small annual.
That's right.
Split there.
That's right.
And
My kids that
I don't deal with that money.
look great there in the room and they can walk.
Absolutely.
Crazy, I don't-
They have great cooperation.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to open up another location.
Yes.
all right, we're almost done with general fund. Lunch is here, so we'll decide that in a second. But I did want to say, I just got a good text, I believe, from the superintendent. There is some extra money in for SROs this year.
Hallelujah.
So I mean,
Are they going to distribute it?
so I'm gonna talk through it with him. But no, I mean, I think he's as definitely as considering and being proactive about this. So we'll see. We'll see what's going on. Okay. Mayor, if you want to, we can push through to general fund and then eat this break for lunch if you'd like, if that's preferred, or do you want to? Because we only have a few more departments here in general fund. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
You want to work? We can do a working lunch if you like.
I
Oh,
only got one
I know
vote.
mine's on.
if we have hot subs, let's go ahead and get the
Some of them
lunches.
are
Okay.
The meatball better be hot sauce.
Oh, that's right, I forgot your football.
Okay.
Oh, no, if other people didn't, I don't care about mine. I just reserve people.
I figured you out. Okay, y'all, is everybody okay with working lunch? I'm good.
Oh, that's
Yeah, we want to keep going.
Let's do it.
okay.
Keep it going.
We're still on track. We typically finish general fund by lunchtime, so we're right on track.